Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Olivia and this is my channel where I love to talk about all things nail polish. This video is part of my Did I Nail It series where I take a look at other nail polishes, typically those from upcoming releases, and see if I can dupe them by using polishes that I already own as a way to try to cut back on spending, make it so that I don't end up with a super huge collection, things like that. Now, I recently started doing these Did I Nail It videos for like one-off dupe attempts. I think it's always great when the polish in question is one that I own myself, so that way I can do like an actual like comparison of seeing what the real thing looks like compared to my dupe attempt. But I also have decided to expand into taking requests from you all as to which ones you want to see, even if it's one that I don't already own. So the previous one that I did was for Polish for Days Goblins and Ghoulies, which I'll link in the description of this video in case you missed that one. And then in the comments on that video, I got a request, two requests, one for the polish we're talking about today, one for a different polish that I'm gonna do, for another video. But for today, we are trying to do Kathleen & Co.'s Follow Your Dreams. And this was, I forgot to say, this was a fun challenge for me because there are sometimes when I have an idea in mind of how I'm going to go about duping a polish, and ideally what I have in my head ends up being the way that it's going to best work out, and I'm like, yay, this is straightforward, that's cool. Other times what can happen is that I may not, like my first few attempts and thoughts might not work out the way I thought it would, but then I'm able to quickly pivot and be like, oh, I should just choose this polish instead of that one. And then, that worked really well too. Then there are other times like this where I try so many things and nothing is really clicking, nothing is really sticking. And so for this one, I actually had to like step away from trying to figure it out for like a couple weeks because I needed to clear my head and think like, I know I'm missing something here. I know that something is going to click for me. And I think it did ultimately, sometimes where like, even for just other things in life, like writer's block, for example, when you find yourself just at a standstill, sometimes the best thing to do is walk away, do something else, and come back to it with a clear head. So I think also what was challenging for me with this one is that this polish, Follow Your Dreams, is one that tends to be like a warmer kind of polish, which I don't often wear myself. So I also appreciated this exercise in giving me the chance to get out of my comfort zone a bit and, experiment with combinations that I don't normally do for my own nails. So many thanks to the commenter, Kate McKate, who suggested Follow Your Dreams. I know in their comment, they said something to the effect of they missed out on purchasing it when it was initially available and it has haunted them ever since. So Kate McKay, I don't want you to be haunted anymore. And for anyone else who is hoping to, follow your dreams to a dupe of this polish, see what I did there? I encourage you to pull out a swatch wheel, some swatch sticks, and follow along with what you got at home and see what you might be able to put together. So let's get into it.
First, I want to begin, as always, with a quick look at what's on my nails today. As you probably saw in the intro, I'm wearing a teal top today, and so I wanted to wear like a teal, just like knocking things everywhere. I wanted to do like a teal skittle by using a few different cream polishes from my collection. So starting with, let me see, this one is Cracked Teal Dark and Handsome. Then I also have, let's use my thumb, this is Zoya's Beckett. And then I also wanted to kind of throw in a little bit of contrast and have something that was like not so much teal, but that would like pair well with it and be like, oh, okay, cool. It's not too matchy, but it's just enough to be like, that works, but it's still different, you know? So this is like a dusty dark blue cream from Bee's Knees Lacquer called Undead, and it's this color here. So initially I thought I'm just gonna start and just do the 3 cream polishes, do a Skittle, cool. I can just stop there, but I just felt that something was missing. And then I decided to follow it up with a coat of Familiar Polish Snowfall, which is quickly becoming one of my favorite toppers. I would say this is kind of like my go-to topper for times when I'm working with like a darker polish where I want to have some kind of pop over it. I know I also recently bought a similar one from Emily Damali. I forget the name of it offhand, but if you're planning to make an Emily Damali order and you're looking for this kind of polish, they have one too. So yeah, just a quick tip if you're looking for some kind of variety. Do a Skittle, but then also you know, add a simple topper, and then you get to have some nice variety with it. So now let's get into talking about Follow Your Dreams. A description that I found for it says that it has a berry leaning red base loaded with glowy orange and gold shimmer. Now, in the photo that I'm gonna put in here for this, I believe I'm gonna use one from a swatch video from Polish Yogi. Part of the challenge that I found with trying to dupe this polish was that so many different photos of it looked completely different. I'm like, is this orange? Is it red? Is it pink? Is it purple? What is it? Not purple, like it has purple tints, but you know, I'm like, what is going on here? So I knew that I wanted to start with some kind of coral base. And so something about me is that at one point I kind of went on a mission to find my ideal coral nail polish. This one here is not coral, but it's pink. But I thought these are, so what I'm pulling out here, these are some, if not all, of the base colors that, or the base polishes that I tested out for trying to see if this would be the right color and formula match for Follow Your Dreams. So starting with the cream polishes, I have Zoya's Frankie. I also have Color Club's Blaze. There was Ice Cream Nails, Hot and Spicy. Then I had a jelly from Cirque, Lolly Jelly. This was more pink than coral. And then I had these 2 like shimmery polishes as well that I tried. OPI, Heart and Console, and Zoya's Jelly. She knows who she is. Okay. And I think with these 2, part of what didn't work for me was that, you know, you see the photos of Follow Your Dreams, and to a certain extent, yeah, like it's got it's not fully opaque. You know, there is a certain sheerness to it. However, I found that in order to try to dupe it, I needed that base to be opaque enough so that whatever I put on top of it would be more prominently reflected back in the overall look of what was going on. And when I tried to use these 2 polishes, unfortunately, they just weren't opaque enough for me to get there. So why I'm starting here is that I want to show you all like my process for like what worked and what didn't work. And I'm not going to swatch out all of these in this video because that would be here forever, but just wanted to show you all a sampling of like, yeah, I tried all of these, but they didn't work. So here's the 2 options for a base that did work. So the first option is from Color Club. This one is called Cherry Icy. And by the way, okay, I think that this one should be called Cherry Icy and this one should be called Blaze. You know what I mean? like, but the colors are backwards. Like, tell me if you think I'm wrong on that, or if you agree. This one, it should be Cherry Icy. This one should be Blaze, but we're gonna go with the one that is Cherry Icy. And then we also have Cert Colors Road Rage, which if I want to compare this to some of the other like coral ones so that you can just really see what I'm talking about, some of these color differences here. It's very subtle, but like, let's also go with this one here. So on the left, this was too red. On the right, this was too pink and not orange enough. And then the ice cream one was too orange. So it was very interesting to me to see how, you know, just when I thought I had a good base color at first, then when I would start putting other things on top of it, it was like, nope, not gonna work. So I learned my lesson there. So we've got these two. So Cherry Icy and Road Rage. That was Road Rage, yes. So then I'm like, all right, we need to have some like purple here. We need to have, because when you look at the swatch photos of Follow Your Dreams, the purple doesn't stand out super prominently, but in certain lighting, it is there. And I wanted to make sure that that was reflected in there. In just a moment, I'll explain what these 3 labels are for. We're going to come back to that. But I want to go to the next part that I did to kind of address that need for a purple element by bringing in Sassy Sauce's Cockadoodle Doom, which this fill line is super low, but I have a backup. I should probably switch over to that one soon. So yeah, my thinking here was I figured out which of these base colors are going to work best for me. And by the way, I tried out Cockadoodle Doom with all of these others as well. So there's a lot of testing, but we're just kind of narrowing it down to what did work here. So I'm like, we're starting with our coral base, and now I'm gonna put on Cockadoodle Doom. So I'm just gonna do the first 2 here on camera to show you how that went, and then probably just quickly do the others off camera to speed things up. So what we've got here for each of these pairings, the Color Club Cherry Icy is on the left, and on the right is Road Rage. Okay, so here's what happens when we add in Cockadoodle Doom. And I thought, okay, this is good. This is giving me a little bit of that like purple shimmer that I want, this purple glow. And also because when you look at the, let me take that back, not purple shimmer, like the purple, it has like a purple jelly base. That's what I needed to add in here. But it's like the glowy orange, pink shimmer that's in Cockadoodle Doom that I felt would really help it to work well with these 2 bases that I was putting this over, because I wanted it to be something that would just blend in seamlessly. I didn't want it to feel like, oh, where's this coming from, you know? So something else I want to point out here between these bases, and part of why I'm showing 2 different options here, is that on the left, the Color Club Cherry Icy, you can see that this of the 2 is the more sheer option. I also wanted to show a more opaque variation for those of you like myself who don't really like to show visible nail line. So I'm very happy overall with how these both turned out. So like I said, I'm going to put Cockadoodle Doom on these other 4 swatches as well, give it a moment to dry, and then we'll be back for the next step. All right, so at this stage, as I was trying to dupe this out, I'm like, I've got my my base colors. I'm adding in some shimmer, some like berry, I keep saying berry shimmer, oh my goodness. I added in like a berry tint with the jelly base from Cockadoodle Doom. And so now all I need to do is put on some gold or orange shimmer. yay. And that is why I have these separated out into 3. So I'm going to show you all the 3 different gold, orange shimmers that I decided to use. And for each of them, I'm going to swatch them over the 2 different options so you can kind of see how effective they were. Now, to go through these options, the first one is from Cirque Colors, Nectar. The second one is a homemade one that I mixed up using an Aurora Shimmer pigment from Glitter Unique, but I apparently recently duped myself when I bought Fancy Gloss's Let It Glow Copper. It's not the exact same thing, but like it's close enough. So if any of you have been seeing me use this one lately, and I have been using it a lot lately, and you're looking for something similar, Fancy Gloss Let It Glow Copper is what you want to probably go for. And then the third option that I tested out is BCB Lacquer's Next Question, which if I just put this next to the Nectar, hopefully you can see where on the left, Nectar is more of a, what I would consider to be a gold shimmer, whereas Next Question on the right is, to me, reads as yellow. I know some people, not everybody maintains that distinction, but for me personally, when I'm going through and trying to dupe something, it can often make a difference if a shimmer is leaning more gold with almost like some like hardy brown kind of undertones to it versus the one on the right, which is yellow. Okay, so got those. And then this one in the middle, I would say is more of like an orange copper-ish, you know, trying to get their color. So let's swatch these out. And you know, as I was doing this, I thought surely this is going to be the final step, right? Like we started with some kind of coral base, we then did the purple jelly, and now we just need some shimmer. So I'm gonna swatch these out first, and then we'll talk about what my thoughts on them were, because I have a lot to say. Okay, so here is Nectar. Okay, then next is the Glitter Unique. As always, I will be showing these swatches and some other lighting towards the end of this video so that you all can see how that looks, because, you know, sometimes the having different lighting can totally affect your perception of how it appears. You know, it kind of reminds me of how there are some times when I tell myself, okay, Olivia, before you decide to destash something, like, take a look at it in some other lighting. And it, you know, it's tricky here in the Midwest during these darker months, because you're like, well, this might be a polish that looks really good in the sunshine, but if we don't have any sunshine, it's like, how will I ever know? And then BCB Lacquer's Next Question is going to be our last one here. Yeah, so with this one, depending on the lighting and the angle, I think that it can almost verge into like chartreuse territory. So yeah, different shimmers for different purposes. And hopefully you can see some of these differences in even just this lighting. Okay. So as I was swatching these out, what I was trying to do was compare them to the reference photos of Follow Your Dreams, and to see of these elements, which one is doing it the best, like which one has combined these in a way where I really feel like I'm getting most of what's in Follow Your Dreams. Now, to compare the different types of shimmer here, Cirque's Nectar is one that is like this very sparkly gold shimmer. You can see the shimmer particles there. compared to the Glitter Unique one, that one gives you more of a smooth, satiny finish. And then on the right with BCB Lacquer's Next Question, you get, it's more similar to Nectar, where you do see those glitter particles. I felt that this gold, like yellow color was coming through in the polish just so vibrantly, and in a way where I knew that I needed it to be something that really sparkled. And because of that, that was what led me to eliminate the Glitter Unique topper from contention. Don't get me wrong, I actually think that the option on the right is one I could see myself. See, this is why I don't. I'm trying to get better at trying to wear more warm colors, but I don't know if this one is it for me. I love the color combination here, but just not on me. You know what I mean? So anyway, I eliminated the Glitter Unique one, and that left me with trying to ask myself, do I prefer this Nectar or Next Question? And this is where it, for me, came back to the question of, is this, am I looking for more of a gold shimmer or a yellow shimmer? And I decided to go with a yellow shimmer. So then I'm like, all right, so yellow shimmer it is. So here we are. I mean, I've got a coral base. I've added in some purple jelly, and I added in yellow shimmer. But why does this not look like Follow Your Dreams? And I'm laughing because y'all know I'm a former teacher, and even now in the work that I do in tech, when I'm speaking with my customers and trying to educate them on different technical concepts, and they know that I'm a former teacher, it becomes like classroom time, because what I will do, instead of giving them the answer straight out, I will say, like, if it's a topic we've talked about before, of course, I wouldn't just spring this on them. I would say, like, okay, so why do you think it is that XYZ, you know, it's like, make it a teachable moment. And so I'm just laughing because if this were a classroom, you know, filled with all of you who have been watching my videos and have heard me talk about the reasons behind why I do certain things with layering, I would ask you, so I will ask you, why do you think it is that neither of these options were feeling completely like good to me? When all of the pieces were there, why did it not feel quite right? Feel free to pause if you would like, and think about it, and think, okay, what has Olivia said that can relate to this? Okay. And when you're ready to unpause, hopefully your answer was, aha, because Olivia has said before, it isn't always just a matter of which polishes you're choosing to layer together, but oftentimes the order in which you layer them can make a profound difference. If you gave that as the answer, give yourself a pat on the back. Yay. And so that is exactly what happened here. I felt that when I looked at the photos of Follow Your Dreams a little bit more closely, it seemed that that glow was coming more from the inside. Like, obviously you're looking at the top of someone's nail, so to a certain extent that glow it appears to be on the top, but I'm like, but what if it's coming more from within? So here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to go off camera for a bit to set up the swatches for our two base colors. Again, the Color Club and the Cert colors, Cherry Icy and Road Rage. And then instead of us putting on Cock-a-doodle Doom as the next layer, I'm going to switch it up and then go and show you how that looks when I put on next question. So I will be right back. Okay, we're back, and I've put down the base of Color Club, Cherry Icy, and Cirque Road Rage. And now we're going to switch things up, and instead of going to Cockadoodle Doom next, we're going to put Next Question on here. And in my testing with this, my recommendation would be if you are deciding to do something similar, don't be afraid to really like go all in on the shimmer topper. I mean, obviously, don't do it to the extent to where you suddenly like have really gloopy nails or anything like that. But already, do you see what I mean about how like what's going on here? I have a theory that I actually only just came up with, so we'll see how fully baked this idea is. But my idea here is that whereas before we were putting these gold and yellow shimmer toppers over Cockadoodle Doom, which, you know, it gave some kind of glow like you're seeing there, but the kind of really glowy, like heat map kind of glow that we're looking for from Follow Your Dreams, it's coming through more so here because of how this yellow shimmer topper Next Question is interacting directly with the coral like orange bases underneath. When I saw that, I was like, oh, that is more so what I'm looking for here. And I think I may have said this before in another video where I did a similar polish combination, but it bears repeating again. Y'all, this one on the right looks like a flaming hot Cheeto that's going to the club. I'm just saying, like, show up at the club, flaming hot Cheeto. So yeah, that then leaves us with the final piece here, which would be bringing back in that purple jelly kind of glow that's part of this as well. And yeah, so here we go. And you know, as far as like the extent to which I think that you need to apply Cockadoodle Doom, you know, like I said, feel free to be more heavy-handed when putting on the shimmer. I think, you know, trust your instinct with Cockadoodle Doom or any other kind of like polish, similar whatever you're using for your own duping. A little bit can go a long way, and you don't need to necessarily overly like feel the need to overly build it up. Like, you don't want it to be to the point where you put on so much of Cockadoodle Doom that you lose that orange yellowy glow that's coming from underneath. Okay, and so then let's do the same thing for Road Rage. Okay. And with this one on the right being having a more opaque formula, you are most likely going to see that reflected in this final version here. But okay, let's talk about this. Okay. Hopefully you can see the difference between, you know, how that gold yellow shimmer is coming through just from the difference of putting it on as the second piece as opposed to the final topper. This to me, did I nail it as a 100% exact dupe of Follow Your Dreams? I don't think it's 100% exactly the same, but okay, y'all, I was looking on Mercari for, like over dinner, I was talking with my husband about this and telling him I was going to be filming this video tonight. And he was like, oh, so how much would that polish, how much is it reselling for? And I was like, let's find out. So I went on Mercari and saw one that was previously sold for $40. I'm like, okay, no, this is, so what I'm getting at is, it's not, while it may not be a 100% exact dupe of Follow Your Dreams, hopefully this combination is enough to be like, you know what, I've got a coral polish at home, I've got a gold yellow shimmer, I've got something like Cock-a-Doodle Doom. Let's put them together and see what I can get, you know? And I am so happy with how these both turned out. I also love that I was able to find not just one, but two viable options here, I think, for those of you who may prefer a more opaque option. So what I'm going to do is put some top coat on all of these and take these into some other lighting, and then we'll go ahead and get wrapped up.
And so these were my attempts at trying to dupe Kathleen & Co.'s Follow Your Dreams. So when I went downstairs just now to take the other swatch footage in my kitchen lighting, that was the first time that I'd seen these combinations under that different lighting. And I still think that overall, these final two results that we had are probably overall the ones that most closely resemble Follow Your Dreams. But I think that, if you are going to be in indoor, more darker lighting, then these final two here are going to be the ones that give the best overall look. Whereas if you are going to be someplace that has really great overhead lighting or outdoors on a sunny day, I would actually recommend doing the combination with the BCB Lacquer's Next Question, where we put Cock-a-Doodle Doom on first and then put Next Question on as the final piece. Because if you're in that better lighting, there's something about the way that the lighting hits that yellow shimmer that just, I'm just thinking like a grilled cheese sandwich. Like I don't know why, but hopefully y'all can understand and follow the vision that I've got here, where like everything's just kind of melting together in a really nice way. Whereas when I'm in this like lower lighting, seeing that the way the yellow shimmer looks on top of Cock-a-Doodle Doom, it's like it just doesn't really do justice to it, and it doesn't allow the inner glow to come through in a way that the final two results do. So what's the moral of the story here? Lighting can affect the overall look of your manicure. As I was mentioning earlier, there have been so many times where I have, been close to destashing a polish, but then something told me, okay, give it a second chance and like wait to wear this on a time where I'm gonna be in some better lighting, or if it's gonna be a sunny day. And then my goodness, I'm just like, wow, that polish is completely better for me in that lighting. That would be one way that if I were to try to organize my polish collection in a way other than the way I have it now, which is by color, one suggestion could be to organize your polishes by like, is this more of like a low light polish, not low light as meaning like a bad thing. Is this something that looks better in lower lighting or in brighter lighting? Just an idea. So once again, to Kate McKate, thank you again for suggesting Follow Your Dreams as something you wanted to see duped. I really hope that these options are going to give you some inspiration to maybe recreate it yourself. And as I mentioned in the beginning, the next polish by viewer request that I am in the process of trying to come up with some dupe ideas for is Crack Polish's Pond Stew. So if that's something that would be interesting to you all, make sure that you're subscribed so that you don't miss out on that. And also, yeah, if you all can think of any other ones that you are like, yeah, I wish I could have a dupe for this and I just haven't been able to figure it out, please let me know in the comments. I love a good challenge. Like, this is so much fun for me. Like, I will just I'll sit at my nail desk, I'll put on a good show on my iPad. It is such a fun way for me to play with my collection at times where I'm like, you ever have it where, you want to do something with nail polish, but you, for whatever reason, you don't feel like doing or redoing your nails, but then you're just like, what do I do? I think that's part of the reason why I love trying to dupe stuff, because it's a way for me to do that where I'm like, I'm doing something with nail polish, but in a way that's not me actively doing my nails. So let me know what you all would like to see. This is such a fun series. I love being able to give some ideas for how you can do more with your existing collection. And I truly hope that these videos are giving you all some ideas for getting to know your polishes a little bit better. So as always, thank you all so much for being here as part of this channel and for watching this video. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.